Bhagavatam, there is a sloka, Janasya Krishnad Vimukhasya Daivat Adharmaseelasya Sudukhitasya Anugraha Eha Charanti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanasya. That means for people who have their minds away, driven away from Lord Krishna, the focus of attention, therefore they have become adharmis, and therefore they have become very miserable, Sudukhitasya. For their anugraha, Paramatma appears, manifests himself in the form of the gurus, in the form of accomplished souls. We see among us, we must recognize there are many accomplished souls, and we must see the presence, special manifestation of Paramatma in them, and show respect like that. Anugraha eva charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya, of Paramatma himself. So in that way, the special manifestation of Paramatma to be seen around us. Now his main purpose in all these examples, developing these theories, is to make Arjuna, and through Arjuna all of us, that we should perform our duties as Bhagavad Aradhana. Again, let me hasten to mundanize this concept. We must do our jobs to please Paramatma. Somebody may say, I don't recognize Paramatma. ठीक है, you do your jobs with a robust objective of serving the mankind, serving the nation, serving the society. Don't do your jobs to serve your own personal agenda. This is the mundanized message that says Bhagavad Aradhana. Have a more robust objective to perform your duties everywhere. I have told already, when I am doing that pravachana, this pravachana, I should not have the objective to the slightest extent in my mind that my pravachana is meant for giving me fame, giving me some money, giving me recognition, giving me publicity. If I do it with the noble objective of spreading the message of Bhagavad Gita as a service at the feet of the Lord, then that is a robust, more robust objective. That itself is the Bhagavad Aradhana Buddhi. So, yeah, Loka Kalyanam. and they give us the objects, molecular properties of objects. So here the fundamental classification of the objects is in terms of their sattva-guna, rajoguna, tamoguna, and I am there in all of them. Matta eveti tan vidhi nattuham teshu te mayi. They are all existing because of my presence, my special desires, and I am not dependent on They do not understand me as Avyaya and Anuttama. Anuttama means na vidyate uttamaha yasmat saha. There is nobody superior to him. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrataha mudhoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajamavyayam vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. I know what has happened in the past, I know what is happening now, and I also know what is going to happen in the future. But nobody understands me in that perspective. If anybody understands me in that perspective, he would be liberated. Ichhadvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa esham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandvan moha nirmuktaha bhajante mam dridhavrataha. Those who do not have any doubt about my greatness, they would be having the proper path for understanding me, and they would be ultimately liberated. Dvandva moha nirmuktaha. They should not have the dvandva, that is, either it is true or not true, or Paramatma is great or not great. This kind of confusion, yes, the dilemma should not be there in the minds. Jara marana mokshaya mama srityayatanti te brahma tadviduh kritsam adhyatmam karma chakhilam. So they would be able to understand all this great philosophy of Paramatma, Adhyatma. Sadhi bhutadi daivam mam sadhi ajnancha me viduhu prayana kale pichamam te vidur yukta chetasaha. So those who understand Adhibhautika, Adhidaivika and Adhyatmika perspective of the universe, and if they keep on having firm faith in this multiple personality of Paramatma, they would, even at the time of Prayana Kala, they would be the real yogis and they would get liberated. So Prayana Kale Pichamam Devidur Yukta Chetasaha, this entire Adhyaya is called as Jnana Vijnana Yoga.
So in today's modern education, from the very childhood, the theory of Big Bang theory and the Darwin theory are introduced in the academics. When this concept is introduced in the academics, here in this chapter Krishna is very clearly explaining Matta Parataram Nanyat. I am the source of everything. Definitely when you recognize your father, then you have to abide by him. In today's world, everyone wants to be independent. They don't want to abide. So by going through these academics and going through this Big Bang theory and Darwin theory, now they are totally brainwashed into a system where there is no God. If there is no God, if there is no controller, there is no father, then you can do anything whatever you want. So because they are misguided in that way, so they are not in a position to actually understand what are the actual facts of life. So now the present day generation needs to be educated in these aspects through creating the awareness in Bhagavad Gita. By creating the awareness and the values of Bhagavad Gita, people, students especially, they can understand, they can get some clarity in their life of what is the ultimate aim and the present aim what they are going to achieve. This is the most important aspect.
No, that means you are saying that there has to be a proper reform in the curriculum of education, and though we cannot prove very categorically that the Darwin theory or Big Bang theory they are so much brainwashed, we cannot tell them that they are very much untrue, but at least we must present them this alternative, more robust way of looking at the universe.
At least this system of education should be given at least by the side.
Yes, yes.
At least, even though now we cannot totally take away the academic system of education, at least parents should be aware to educate their children, and the teachers should be aware, and the leaders of the society, they should be aware. Even though we cannot totally avoid this system, at least this can be introduced where people can understand the values of the truths of Bhagavad Gita.
Exactly, exactly. So this is for what is required is to present the messages of Bhagavad Gita in the most modern jargons, most modern terminologies, and in a comparative framework. Whatever is stated here has to be not exactly judged, but has to be viewed in perspective in relation to what kind of education or knowledge they receive from the schools and the institutions. So unless we do that, then people may ask, why the hell with Bhagavad Gita, I don't care. But then to that extent they would be deprived of the true knowledge. That is why he already recognized Artho, Jijnasur, Artharthi, Jnani cha Bharatarshava. 4 categories of people try to understand me or try to approach me. Of that, we are now only Artharthis. We are trying to get through him greater and greater amounts of money, material benefits. So that, he says, is not going to give you a very permanent material benefits. And man, as I said earlier, is a mixture or a blend of materialism and spiritualism. If you think that he can get all the happiness of life only by acquiring material assets, he is mistaken. And today we are already seeing, in the craze of acquiring more and more material benefits or material rewards or materialistic wealth, you are destroying the nature, you are destroying the trees, the rivers, the mountains, the sky, the space. Everywhere the concept of pollution is coming. You know, in our traditional concept, I have already said earlier also, the environment is consisting of not merely Prithvi, Ap, Tejas, Vayu and Akasha, but it also consists of Kala, Dik, Atma and Manas. So if time is polluted, if the time overrun takes place in the factories or in the construction of industry, then you are not only increasing the costs, but you are polluting the time. So if any event is to take place, that is why the concept of Muhurta came, the concept of timeliness, time, commitment came in our midst. So Kala cannot be polluted. Dik, similarly directions. You should not do things which are not able to give you good flow of air, good flow of sunshine, good flow of view of the nature. So you should have the Dik properly recognized. More than these two, Atma and Manas. Atma is conscience and Manas is mind. So if you do something which will not be
you experiment with God, you can see the God. After all, you can reach the truth with an experiment. Okay, make an experiment. That is what Vivekananda said, also said. Okay, don't believe that God is there. Don't disbelieve God is there. Make an experiment with an open mind, start an experiment. And if you succeed in the experiment, believe in God. Otherwise, leave it. So, but you have to make an experiment. Without making an experiment, there is so far this Adhyaya is a big process of that, reaching the truth. So please read it, understand the process, try it. If you fail, okay, I too will become.
Yes. No, you made a good point. Many people who say that those who argue for the existence of God are irrational. They say they haven't. But I say those who have faith in the non-existence of God are irrational. Why? Because they have faith in something in which they have not made any experimentation. They are only believing it mechanically. Just as they tell the God believers that you are believing in the existence of God mechanically, in the same way the non-believers have also not got any experimental proof or proof of arguments to say that God does not exist. Bhagavad Gita says is that recognize the existence of the supranatural power which cannot be scanned by your physical indriyas. So don't call him as God, God, call him as anything, but definitely the things around you are not reachable by your indriyas, by your manas, and they cannot be, they could not have been created by you, would not have been governed by you. You cannot really control your own destiny. Suppose you want to go and do some great job or attend a function, but as you step out, you tumble and fall down and you break your knee. You did not have any control on that. Why that happened? Because there is something called beyond you. So later on, Paramatma gives a very profound scientific, what I call in the modern jargons, theory of activity. He says there are 5 elements, adhishthanam tatha karta, karanancha prasagvidham, vividhacha prasakteshta, daivancha ivatra panchamam. Sharira vang manobhiryat karma prarabhate naraha, nyagyam va viparitam va, panchaite tasya hetavaha, tatraivam sati kartaram, atmanam kevalantu yaha, pasyati akrita buddhitvat, nasa pasyati durmatihi. So there are 5 factors which determine our activities. One of those factors, we can discuss more about that when it comes in one of the adhyayas, but presently the one of those factors is daivam, that is some activity, some force which is beyond your control, you see. So you have to recognize that daivam or adrishta or imponderable force, imponderable energy is also the determinant of your activity. That means everything is not under your control. This fact can be experimentally proven.
Prabhupada, founder Acharya, he has given this Bhagavad Gita. It is a very great science. Great science in the sense that in science you have the theory part and the practical part and the result part. So this is the theory, the principles given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, and you can practically apply those the principles in your life, practical life,
exactly.
and you will see the result. Definitely, you can see God face to face. Our Prabhupada explains, even if you want to meet a ordinary collector in the administration services, you need to have some qualification. You cannot just go like that and challenge him, I want to see you. You need some qualification, and there is a way to approach him. In the same way, in order to approach God, we have a process given by Krishna himself. He has very elaborately explained in 18 chapters. He doesn't need also. In one chapter he would have told everything to Arjuna, and he would have told Sarvadharman Parityajya, and you can surrender to me and I will solve your problem. But only to make us understand, his real transcendental nature, he has given such elaborate descriptions about himself, so that we can properly understand him and understand his love and kindness upon us, so that we can slowly make a most forward step towards him.
Exactly. Thank you, Praneshwara Dasaru. You have really put it, the message of Bhagavad Gita, in the proper perspective.